Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian. Welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And Roland Martin is putting belt to ass today on Stephen A. Smith. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So let's get into today's topic, right? Now, we recently produced some shows on our channel. Actually, over the last 2 days, right? The first one had to do with, which is directly correlated to what Roland Martin is talking about here. But the first show we did was about Stephen A. Smith going off on the Democrats, right? He was basically ripping into them because he believes that they're the ones that are pushing to have these Epstein files released. And we did a show about that, which was a rebuttal to some of the things that he was saying. Then last night we produced another show, which Stephen A. Smith was reacting to the comments, to the grotesque comments that Megyn Kelly made on her show. And in the midst of that, he was calling her a wonderful person after she was basically trying to say, well, you know, there's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. I'm like, this is insanity, right? This is insanity. He couldn't even bring himself to the point where he would condemn her comments. He couldn't even do it, right? He couldn't even do it. So people were going off on him there. But to the first video that I just aforementioned, where he was criticizing the Democrats, he was essentially going off about how, you know, why is this coming out now all of a sudden? Why are the Democrats the one bringing this out and this? And he was just hollering and screaming and all that. And I've said this for quite some time, maybe for the people that are new to the channel, they may not know. I believe that Stephen A. Smith is a political grifter, 100%, right? 100%. He's just out here grifting and grifting. And the problem with that is he has such a huge megaphone. He has, I think his YouTube channel has 1.3 million subscribers. He's also known as Stephen A. Smith. So when he says things, various publications are going to report on it. Then he has a show on Sirius XM radio. So he has this huge megaphone that he just goes on and he just starts screaming and hollering about things that sometimes he is absolutely wrong about. I give you guys a quick example of this. Initially, when the Epstein case was picking up some steam, where it started to become an issue for the White House and the president, he basically went on, I believe it was Chris Cuomo's show. I don't remember the show. Maybe it was his own show, where he was essentially saying that the only people that are concerned with the Epstein case are people that have nothing else to do with their lives. Like, I just go about my life and I'm living my life, but it's not a big issue to me. Meanwhile, that's a father, and I'm a father too, of a daughter, and he has daughters too. So I'm sitting like, what are you talking about? There's only people that have nothing else to do. So you mean to tell me that all the people that are concerned about this issue are jobless people that have, like, what are you saying? And then he went a step further and saying, we don't even know that if these files exist. What? After Pam Bondi had already said they do exist, he's saying we don't even know if these files didn't exist. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, why is Stephen A. Smith propagating these kind of views? Like, why are you doing this, right? So in this particular issue, he was here trying to come to the defense of the president, forgetting and basically trying to make this point that, oh, it's just, you know, Democrats out to get the president, Democrats out to get to the president, forgetting that these files that are about to be voted on next week is a bipartisan effort, because there are also Republicans that want these files made public. He's not even touching on that aspect of it. So Roland Martin, who has roasted and toasted Stephen A. Smith over the last few weeks, he reacted to Stephen A. Smith's latest rant, where he was going at the Democrats. And I saw a clip from his show that was published about, let me say 24 hours ago, by the time you guys see this show. And the title of the show said, "What the hell? Stephen A. Smith's loud fact challenge rant gets annihilated by the truth." So I immediately clicked on it to hear what Roland Martin was saying in response to Stephen A. Smith. And let me tell you guys, he absolutely dismantled him. And dare I say, made him look like a political neophyte. Like, as if he shouldn't even have a microphone to talk about politics whatsoever. So what we want to do is we're going to play exactly what Roland Martin had to say in his rebuttal to Stephen A. Smith's comments, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Roland Martin here.
Okay. Stephen A. says, maybe I'm missing something. You are. Then he says he's an extraordinary producer, and maybe they could research it. Yeah. How about you do the damn research before you go on the air on an epic rant, Stephen A? Like, I don't understand why black people or other folks with shows don't know how to do research before they open their mouths. What you just heard is misinformation and disinformation. Do you know who corrected Stephen A? Somebody named Julie K. Brown. Julie K. Brown is a reporter for the Miami Herald. It has been the Miami Herald that has done amazing reporting on the Epstein case. We know about all the details of what's happened with Jeffrey Epstein, the previous deal being cut, the sweetheart jail deal he got because of Julie Brown and the reporters of the Miami Herald. This is what she tweeted. This is a complicated case with a quote, all caps, a lot of files. So I know it's easy to confuse what's what. What Stephen doesn't understand is that the emails released Wednesday are from Epstein's estate. They were obtained from Epstein's lawyers pursuant to a subpoena that was issued by the House Oversight Committee, lawmakers. These documents are separate from the criminal case files held by the DOJ and the FBI that Trump and Bondi, the Attorney General, promised to release after the election. As for why Biden and the Democrats didn't release the criminal case files, Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, the associate of Jeffrey Epstein, Maxwell's criminal case was still open during the Biden administration. She wasn't convicted until late 2021, and then she appealed her conviction. Generally, it's not a good idea to open your evidence files when a criminal case is ongoing. We also don't know whether the FBI was still investigating other possible suspects who helped Epstein or participated in his crimes. If you are still targeting suspects, you don't want them to know you're zeroing in on them. This is what I keep trying to tell these people who are in media. When you have a mega microphone, you need to be judicious with how you use it. You need to be careful with what you say and how you say it, and you need to have your facts right. So when people are listening to you, they're taking cues from you. And so all of a sudden, folks are going, oh my God, what the hell were Biden and the Democrats doing? They couldn't release them because they didn't have them. And so Stephen A. is broadcasting on Sirius XM radio all around the country. And people are taking his clip and they're reposting it on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Fanbase, on Spoutable, Spill, LinkedIn, everywhere. And he's wrong. And see, this is what I cannot stand. I cannot stand when a journalist or a media personality says, I'm just asking a question. I'm just giving my opinion. What the hell are you talking about? I get asking questions. So here's how it worked. Stephen A., you and your producing team, you book experts like a Julie Brown. And in fact, it would be smart for y'all to book her on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. What you do is you ask the experts the question. You say, Julie, you're a reporter with the Miami Herald. You've been covering this story for years. Can you explain to me why these files were released now and not when Biden was president? That's how you ask a question. But Stephen A. didn't ask a question. Stephen A. asked a question and then gave his answer to the question, but before doing so, admitting he didn't actually know the answer. Do y'all know how dangerous that is? That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of going off on a player for not suiting up. And then you find out later, oh, he was injured. Did you check and call before you attacked the player for being injured? This is what I'm talking about, Michael, and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of people not dealing in facts, not checking first before they go off and say things that then get repeated. And as we know, the lie travels faster than the truth. This is just idiotic to literally say, I don't know. I could have my smart producer check, but let me just rip the folks anyway.
Excellent. So you heard what Roland had to say. Now I just want to quickly reiterate what Julie K. Brown wrote, because she was answering the question that Stephen A. Smith had been posing, and a lot of people that are in opposition to these files being released. Now, Julie K. Brown is a Miami Herald journalist whose investigation led to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the author of Perversion of Justice. So that's what it says on her Twitter there. She has a pretty sizable following with over 237,000 followers on Twitter here. But I just want to quickly read what Roland Martin read, but I want to just reiterate it again. It says, this is a complicated case with a lot of files, so I know it's easy to confuse what's what. What Stephen A. Smith doesn't understand is that the emails released Wednesday are from the Epstein estate. They were obtained from Epstein's lawyers pursuant to a subpoena that was issued by the House Oversight Committee, lawmakers. These documents are separate from the criminal case files held by the DOJ and the FBI that Trump and Bondi promised to release after the election. She then addresses the part that a lot of people that Stephen A. Smith was shouting about. As for why Biden and the Democrats didn't release the criminal case files, Maxwell's criminal case was still open during the Biden administration. She wasn't convicted until late 2021, and then she appealed her conviction. Generally, it's not a good idea to open your evidence files when a criminal case is ongoing. We also didn't know whether the FBI was still investigating the other suspects who helped Epstein or participated in his crimes. If you're still targeting suspects, you don't want them to know you are zeroing in on them. And then Roland Martin pretty much explained everything. So you heard it here. Okay, you heard it here. Why didn't the Democrats go after her these files? To release these files under Biden's watch, right? And we're understanding that these were just emails that were subpoenaed by the government that were given out by his estate. It's something totally separate from what the FBI and the DOJ and these guys are holding on to, right? Stephen A. Smith doesn't know that. Now, here's a difference in someone like me not knowing that. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. We don't have a mega platform here. We have a decent sized platform, but we're not Stephen A. If I say something, it's not going to be quoted by various publications like the New York Times or the New York Post or whoever else. No, he is. That's number one. Number two, I'm not getting paid millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to espouse my views on these issues. Stephen A. Smith is. So when you have that type of microphone or that type of platform and you're earning those type of dollars, you need to ensure that you're doing your due diligence. And I don't blame it just on him. I blame it on his producers, because they're the ones that are not giving him all the pertinent information. It seems like there's almost this rush to just go out there, cut on a mic and talk, instead of ensuring that you're getting the facts right. And I said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this point again. In sports, you can kind of get away with not knowing your stuff, right? Because most sports fans are not really going to research this stuff. A lot of it is emotion-based. Now, politics is also emotion-based, but people do their due diligence. So when they find out that you don't know what the heck you're talking about, they're going to call you on it. In the case of Stephen A. Smith, it looks like he's doing a lot more harm than good, because he's giving out a lot of misinformation. A lot of it. And the problem is he's very loud about it. He's very angry about it. He's making a lot of noise about it. He's making a lot of noise. Like the issue he had with Jasmine Crockett. He's over there, I don't like the way that she speaks. Why does she speak like? And then people are like, okay, fine, it's fine. If you don't like the way that Jasmine Crockett goes about doing her business and saying, that's fine. But call out the entire political environment. Call out the president. Call out some of his supporters like Laura Loomer and all these. He doesn't want to do that. But then wants to position himself as, I'm an independent. You're not. Stephen A. Smith is not an independent. I've never heard an independent criticize one side of the aisle as much as he does. I've never heard it. So now when you have your contemporaries like Roland Martin, calling you out, you know you got an issue. And mind you, Stephen A. Smith, Roland Martin has been on the Stephen A. Smith show. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith has been on Roland Martin. These guys know each other. But Roland is like, no, bro, look. The truth is more important than our friendship. And I can't correct you behind the scenes. I need to correct you publicly because you're making these errors publicly. And that's the reason he needed to call him out on it. So this is becoming problematic. It's becoming a serious problem. And it's not funny anymore. It really isn't funny anymore. I don't know why Stephen A. Smith is hell-bent on doing this. I don't know. And he just keeps missing the mark. He's over there defending Megyn Kelly. Are you absolutely... And you know the craziest part? There are people subscribed to our channel because I criticized her. They started unsubscribing. Yes. I never even knew that there are people that would be willing to defend Megyn Kelly after her disgusting comments about minors. They would feel more offended that I said that they unsubscribed. Yes, there are people are leaving comments like, really? People are, yes, they are. And to them I say, good riddance and piss off and don't ever come back. If you're offended that I'm calling her out for those disgusting comments that she made about minors and essentially trying to humanize Epstein, all in an attempt to defend the president, then you can piss off. I don't need your support. I don't need anyone that's out there sympathizing with pedophiles. I don't, with PDFs or whatever the hell you call. I don't need those people in my corner. I don't. There must be a line, and it seems like some people have a very difficult time drawing the line. That's why I was floored by Stephen A. Smith, not even chastised, not even saying, what do you mean what you're saying, all this kind of thing. He was more concerned about preserving his relationship with her. Like that was the key issue here. Not addressing her comments and rebuking her comments. No. I want to preserve her public image and preserve my friendship with her. That's his only concern. I mean, this stuff is madness. But this political climate is showing us a lot about a lot of people and where they stand morally and ethically. It's showing us a lot about a lot of people. It really is. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show and I'm out.